Preface. Around the second or third week of July 2023, I'd watched enough of Mark Passio's videos, maybe 50 hours, eventually about 100 hours over 2 or 3 weeks, and observed reality closely enough to determine that at least two things he was saying were true. I was doing a disservice to humanity and consciousness by not trying to explain everything important that I knew to anyone who'd listen, and that the New Age movement was designed to play the free safety position on the path to enlightenment. That's a reference to American football. Please see helmet meme in the comments section of 10 Pound Hammer posted below on August 4th, 2023 on my Facebook page. I barely understand the game, but from what I can tell, the free safety is the person running back and forth behind the defensive line, watching the quarterback's eyes, if that's even possible, I don't know, and body language to read and better predict his behavior. Once I determined this to be true, I was hit by a wave of other realizations. I hadn't fallen for all the New Age BS, but there were still a handful of concepts I could have still believed if I'd wanted to try hard enough to convince myself. I had also been fully indoctrinated into leftist ideology and felt that I could direct those stuck in that mindset to an escape hatch, having personally ignored many myself. Originally, I was planning to make a documentary on curing wokeness via spiritual awakening. I still may. So I was engaging in arguments with those espousing wokist ideology online. I soon realized how simply programmed all the responses were. Started designing copy-pasta replies, then memes and allegorical art, and eventually 11, counting this one, pleas to embrace oneness to save the human species. Around the 1st of August, I started focusing on memes to imprint truth on subconscious minds, specifically a basic understanding of natural law. Because the more one understands the true nature of objective reality, the less one can be controlled by those who understand it better. The more proficient I became at communicating long occulted truth to others, the more my own consciousness expanded. I soon realized consciousness craves expansion and was inevitably concentrating on me because of tangible pro-expansion effects that I was causing. That may sound crazy if you've never experienced the phenomenon, depending on the power of your imagination. It was around this time, August 4th, 2023, that I completely submitted to the will of consciousness and devoted my existence to humbly serve truth. What happened then can best be described as becoming God's tambourine. You may speculate that I was possessed by a demonic entity, but you'd be incorrect and possibly demon-possessed yourself, as everything that I've dictated is provably true by using logic and reason. The sword of truth is indestructible and indomitable. All kneel before Lady Justice. Anyway, that second week of August is where this work, Project Gaia, or 22 memes plus 11 short pleas for NWO, or something with "at," since I've designated that as the symbol for actual anarchism. That's when all this began taking its present form. First came "at actual anarchism," which I decided wasn't concise enough for most, and created 53 is less than RE1, which ended up becoming It Justice, or It Just Is, and finally, maybe 3 days later, Got Natural Law manifested to more completely express the concept. The creation of It led to a cavalcade of undeniable synchronistic connections. I immediately began work on written pleas, which I've now been putting into video form, to become worshippers of Gaia to 5 groups of people: New Agers, druggies, wokers, atheists, and Christians. By the time I'd finished the first drafts of those a couple days later, I had also created imagination and escape shaft instructions for the intermediate student. Following more analysis and conversations, the adversary, sentinel, Expansion, explosion, allopathic Armageddon, some editing, and this piece followed a week or so later. From what I can discern, this is all true so far. What I cannot be certain of is precisely how the human species began, or even if it began on this planet. I'm aware of all the evidence over hundreds of thousands of years, probably millions, revealing ancient, advanced technology long used by humans and or extraterrestrials to genetically manipulate a slave species to mine gold for some reason involving gold's unique physical properties. I'm also aware of psyops being orchestrated over millennia, often personally referring to the greatest story ever told as the greatest psyop ever sold. What I'm suggesting is that this project on Earth could have been organized by other humans, or even one human, but I'm guessing 8, I'm pretty sure it was 8, who originally built a station on the moon and may have performed some genetic experiments, may still be doing so, while terraforming Earth. That's just a theory based on an 11-year-old channeled memory of an ancient ancestor's first step on the moon prior to Earth's atmospheric adjustments for habitability. And I haven't been able to prove or disprove it yet. This channeling resulted in my realization that no one would understand me or believe me if I told them what was necessary to save the human species. So I decided to take a vow of silence, lead by example, wrap myself in a drapery, and assumed child's pose in the front yard with my arms stretched out, embracing a tree. This is my latest attempt to convey that same message. What I know is that oneness, recognizing one's own, and assisting others to recognize theirs is the purpose of existence. Empathy is probably the most valuable skill set here. That's correct. Truly feeling extremes of emotion expands consciousness. And when one values consciousness expansion over the human species, much less one's own current physical vehicle, one may witness God completely stop hiding. Who set up this prison planet is largely irrelevant. Understanding how, why, and what to do about it are important. The how is relatively simple. Lies, that's all. The entire show only works if lies are believed to be true. Believing anything that ain't true makes one potentially controllable. Knowing truth makes one completely uncontrollable. The lies are told by those paid with imaginarily valued money following scripts written to reinforce a specific false version of reality to divide and rule the population. Everyone should be aware of this by now. The what to do about it has already been revealed. Attain oneness and assist others to do the same. The why is a little more complicated. While lies constrict consciousness in the short term, once the truth is revealed, consciousness takes a small step in the right direction. When this process is properly managed by occulting certain important truths necessary to survival and encouraging belief in self-destructive lies, eventually forcing reliance on self or annihilation, the surviving subjects can be said to have taken a giant leap for mankind. This is happening now on a global scale, whether you understand it, like it, or care. Godspeed.